Christine Brown broke free. She escaped Kody. She claimed victory over Utah's anti-bigamy law, and she promised a memoir that would tell it all. But what if the story you know is only half the truth? What if the law wasn't what she thought it was, and the memoir you bought was missing its most shocking chapters? Tonight, we reveal what Christine got wrong, what TLC didn't want you to read, and why fans are more divided than ever. Part 1. When Christine Brown left Kody, millions of fans cheered. But beneath the tears, the hugs, and the empowerment speeches, something didn't quite add up. What Christine got wrong about Utah's anti-bigamy law may shock you, and it could change the way you see sister wives forever. Because this isn't just reality TV, it's a story about freedom, law, and betrayal. Let's rewind. TLC's Sister Wives wasn't just a guilty pleasure, it became a cultural lightning rod. For over a decade, women across America tuned in, not just to watch Kody's hair get curlier every season, but to witness a rare, inside look into plural marriage in modern America. Here's the catch: Utah's anti-bigamy law was one of the strictest in the nation. Technically, you could face jail time for simply cohabitating as husband and wife if you were already legally married to someone else. For the Browns, this wasn't just TV drama. It was survival. And when Christine claimed the law had changed, she wasn't entirely right. We're free now, the law doesn't matter. Still illegal, just less enforced. So, what Christine got wrong wasn't just a technicality. It was a misunderstanding with huge emotional consequences. Christine framed her exit as an escape from oppression, both marital and legal. But fans noticed something deeper. Was the law just an excuse? Or did Christine weaponize it in her final battle with Kody? To understand Christine's mistake, we need to break down the difference between law on paper and law in practice. Section A. Law on paper. Bigamy remains illegal. Penalties reduced to the level of a traffic ticket. Section B. Law in practice. Utah law enforcement deprioritized prosecutions. Public pressure and religious freedom debates made prosecutions rare. So if bigamy wasn't really punished anymore, why did Christine act like it was the chains holding her down? And here's where the real drama begins. Because Christine's misinterpretation gave fans something to rally behind, a clean villain in the story, the state of Utah. But the truth? The enemy might have been much closer to home. Yes, Queen, break free from the law and Kody. But was Christine's real fight against the law, or against a marriage that had already collapsed? And the answer reveals why so many fans feel betrayed today. Christine didn't need the law to leave. She never faced prison. The Browns were never truly at risk once TLC cameras were rolling. In fact, Utah's softened laws gave her more freedom, not less. The law forced us out. Reality, it didn't. By 2020, they could live openly again without fear. Christine wasn't wrong to want independence. But when she tied her exit to the law, she misled fans into believing she was escaping legal persecution, when in truth she was escaping Kody. Christine used the law as cover for leaving Kody. We supported her because of Utah, now it feels fake. And this backlash raises the hardest question of all: did Christine manipulate the narrative to protect herself from public blame? Christine's mistake wasn't just about misreading Utah law. It was about how stories shape power. In the Sister Wives universe, the law became a ghost villain, a stand-in for real pain, real betrayal, and real choices. So, what do you think? Was Christine's misunderstanding innocent or strategic? Was she protecting herself, or rewriting history? Drop your thoughts below. Because this isn't just about one family, it's about how reality TV blurs the line between truth and story. And remember, sometimes the biggest lie isn't what's on paper. It's what we choose to believe. Part 2. Christine Brown gave fans a promise, a tell-all memoir, a book that would finally reveal the truth. But what if I told you the most shocking chapters never made it to print? What if the parts Christine wrote with the most fire were silenced, censored, and buried by TLC? Now, we uncover the lost pages of Christine's story and why TLC didn't want you to read them. Christine's memoir was supposed to be the final word in her war with Kody and polygamy. Fans expected heartbreak, betrayal, and healing. What they didn't expect was censorship. TLC's sister wives being branded as family-friendly, despite covering taboo plural marriage. TLC's legal contracts gave them rights to family image control. So when Christine submitted her first draft, sources say entire sections vanished before the final edit. Allegations of financial control by TLC. Behind-the-scenes manipulation of family drama. Private fights that never aired. But here's the catch: Christine left breadcrumbs. And fans have been piecing them together. Christine's published memoir felt polished, careful, even safe. But women across America reading it felt the gap. They wanted raw pain. They wanted secrets. Instead, they got what some call a sanitized version of the truth. She said family pressure, but not who pressured her. Reddit threads, this sounds redacted. Facebook groups trading theories, did TLC silence Christine to protect ratings? And that's when whispers began about the chapters we weren't allowed to see. Former TLC insiders hint at strict NDAs. Christine reportedly wanted to write about financial exploitation, producers said too risky. Alleged cut passages about Kody's control over family money and children's TV contracts. Erase the hardest parts. For Christine, this wasn't just censorship, it was heartbreak all over again. And here's where the emotional bombshell hits. Christine may have been censored not once, but twice. Once by TLC lawyers. Again by publishers fearing lawsuits. The twist? By censoring Christine's memoir, TLC may have triggered an even bigger backlash. Because fans don't trust silence. They dig. Early drafts rumored to include Christine's claim that TLC forced filming during her worst fights. Theories she wrote about being pressured to stay in Utah despite fear of bigamy laws. Whispers that Christine described mental health struggles of her kids cut for privacy. By silencing her, TLC gave fans permission to imagine the worst. And for some, that's more powerful than any truth. Reddit, Christine sold us half a story. TikTok, this doesn't feel like her voice, it feels edited. Book reviews, praise for empowerment, criticism for avoiding the hard stuff. And here's the ultimate irony. By censoring Christine, TLC may have made her book even more scandalous. Christine's memoir wasn't just a book, it was a battlefield. A war between her voice, the network's control, and the fans' hunger for the raw truth. Did she let herself be silenced? Or did she choose peace over chaos? What do you think? Was Christine's book censored to protect TLC or to protect Christine herself? Did she play it safe, or was she forced into silence? Tell us in the comments. Let's deep dive in full details. Part 3. To understand Christine's escape, we need to rewind. Back to Utah, back to when polygamy was more than just a scandal, it was a crime. Under Utah's old law, simply living with multiple partners as husband and wife could mean felony charges. The Browns fled Utah not just because of family drama, but because of the law itself. That trauma never left Christine. Years later, when Utah softened penalties, reducing bigamy to something closer to a traffic violation, Christine celebrated. To her, the chains were broken. Bigamy was still illegal, just downgraded. Enforcement was rare but still possible. So when Christine told fans, "We're free now," she wasn't entirely right. And that mistake shaped the way her audience saw her journey. Christine's next chapter wasn't just leaving Kody. It was writing her truth. Her memoir was teased as a tell-all. Fans wanted betrayal, secrets, empowerment. But what arrived in bookstores felt safe. Amazon reviews calling the book empowering, but vague. TikTok reactions, it feels censored. And they were right. Sources claim entire passages were cut by TLC lawyers and publishing editors. Passages that may have revealed financial control, forced filming during family crises, and behind-the-scenes manipulation. Christine wanted to tell us more. But TLC wanted silence. First cut, TLC legal contracts protecting the family brand. Second cut, publisher fears of lawsuits. End result, a book missing its sharpest teeth. Reddit, whole sections read like they were scrubbed. Facebook groups, she said family pressure but never who pressured her. YouTube reactions, this doesn't sound like Christine's voice, it sounds edited. For Christine, this wasn't just censorship, it was a second betrayal. She thought she was free. Instead, she found her story controlled once again. And that control may explain why Christine leaned so heavily on Utah's law, because it was one of the only battles she was allowed to talk about. Here's the twist. Christine didn't need the law to leave. She didn't need a memoir to validate her truth. Utah's softened laws gave her freedom years before she walked. And TLC's censorship? It turned her book into a mystery novel with missing chapters fans can only imagine. Some feel betrayed. She used the law as cover. Others feel censored with her. TLC silenced her, not Christine. TikTok split, half cheering her empowerment, half demanding the real book. And here's the cruel irony: by censoring Christine, TLC may have made her more powerful. Because silence breeds speculation. And speculation never dies. Christine's story is not just about leaving a husband. It's about leaving behind the illusions of law, of family, of freedom. But when the truth is edited, when the raw pain is polished, we're left with questions instead of answers. To understand Christine's mistake, we need to go back, way back. Utah's war with polygamy didn't start with sister wives. It started in the 1850s, when Mormon pioneers settled the desert valleys, bringing with them a controversial practice, plural marriage. 1862 Moral Anti-Bigamy Act, First Federal Strike. 1882 Edmunds Act made unlawful cohabitation a crime. 1890 LDS Church officially abandoned polygamy under federal pressure. 2010 The Browns investigated. 2013 Brown v. Booman case challenged law. 2020 Utah reduces polygamy to an infraction. So when Christine said the law had changed, she wasn't wrong. But she wasn't right either. The ghosts of history still lingered in every courtroom. And this wasn't just law, it was a weapon. A weapon Utah used for over 150 years. When Christine's memoir hit the shelves, fans raced to read it. But what they found felt hollow. And they weren't quiet about it. TikTok clip, she skipped the juicy parts. Reddit post, this feels like TLC had final approval. Facebook comment, I love Christine, but this doesn't sound like her. Fans didn't just react. They organized. Facebook groups with tens of thousands of women analyzed the memoir line by line, highlighting words, comparing with TLC contracts, debating what was missing. And their conclusion? Christine's book was only half a story. To understand Christine's choices, you have to understand her roots. She wasn't just a reality star. She was a child of polygamy. Born into a fundamentalist Mormon family. Raised to believe plural marriage was sacred. Married Kody as his third wife, believing it was spiritual destiny. For decades, Christine smiled on camera, but privately, doubts grew. When she finally walked away, it wasn't just leaving Kody. It was leaving behind everything she was raised to believe. That's why she clung to the law. It gave her a story of escape bigger than her own heartbreak. But sometimes the stories we tell ourselves are the hardest ones to let go. Christine's memoir wasn't the first to be censored. Reality TV has a long history of silencing its stars. The Duggars, counting on producers' cut abuse allegations, later exposed in documentaries. Kardashians, controlled edits around divorces and lawsuits. Real Housewives, NDAs block housewives from exposing production manipulation. Christine's silence fits a pattern. Networks sell reality, but edit away the reality that threatens profits. And when fans realize this pattern, they stop trusting the show itself. But what if? What if Christine's full memoir leaked tomorrow? And what if Utah fully legalized polygamy? Would sister wives even exist? Or would the entire show collapse without its central tension, the family versus the law? Sometimes the truth is powerful. But sometimes, the possibility of truth is even more dangerous. So, What do you think? Did Christine misunderstand Utah's law, or use it as a shield? Was her memoir censored to protect TLC or to protect her own heart? Drop your thoughts below, we read every single one. And subscribe, because this isn't the last sister wives secret waiting to be uncovered. Next time we